India. Still have a couple more weeks here, and it's been an amazing experience. Lots of learning, lots of relearning. And the beautiful thing about what one does is that the more you know, the less you end up knowing. The more you know, you don't know. I guess you could put it that way. James Rodríguez, and I wanted to talk about him, makes his debut in Mexican football. It's at times it seems like such a toxic relationship when you talk about him because you love him, you hate him. You know what he can do, and then you're waiting for him to do it. And when he does it, you're just in awe. He leaves everyone in awe of what he can do. Comes in as a sub and basically turns the game upside down in a span of 20 plus 25 minutes, 26 minutes. Leon are losing 1-0, a team that has been struggling to find their identity over the past season and a half. And now they have a player that can change things around in a snap of a finger or in a flick of his left foot in his case. It's one of those moments where you wonder, you see and you're like, what's he doing in Mexican football? He should be playing in Europe. But of course, destiny brings him here and he's taking full advantage, at least based on the few minutes that he's taken full advantage of it. You know that when he wants to play, when he can play, and when the conditions are favorable to what he wants, things are just incredible. So Leon fans seem to be excited over the prospect of having a player that has one of the best left-footed strikes in the world. Now, what he did with that left foot, that's another story. Let's not get twisted here. I'm not here to be the lawyer or lobby for him. I'm just praising him for his performance on Saturday. Or excuse me, this past weekend, I should say. I might get mixed up in terms of times, in terms of things with the hour difference so vast. But James comes in, great pass into the area, penalty kick that ends up being generated off of it. Stoppage time, a pass to John Dercadis. He's able to just a tremendous incision of a pass that ends up slicing the defense. John Dercadis ends up getting the ball, scoring the eventual game winner. So we can expect a lot of this from James Rodríguez throughout the season. Now, what he ends up doing from here on out, that's another question. I can't answer that. Only time will tell. We shall see exactly what ends up happening with James in the weeks and months to come, because obviously the middle term is to participate, be competitive, and who knows, maybe even have a chance to win the Liguilla in Mexico. But also the big objective, which ends up being more money, much more interesting, and if they do play it, is the Club World Cup. So James is another marquee name that would be making this tournament in the summer a little bit more interesting, although the interest that it's garnered hasn't been too much as of right now. Now, getting closer and closer to the date, it could be different. That I don't know either. When you look at James, you end up saying, God, what could have been? What might have been? I'm not saying he's going to win a Ballon d'Or. I wasn't going to ever say that. But him just being in the conversation alone would have been just an amazing, little feather in his proverbial cap, if you will, knowing how the previous generation, the generation we're transitioning out of, was. It's a shame that he didn't fulfill that potential, because you know that he could have done that and maybe much more. That's another issue, and that's something he'll have to deal with as a player and as a person in terms of what he prioritized or what ended up being the circumstances that he was under at those respective times. Maybe sometime in the future we'll find out through him himself. But again, James Rodríguez, you want to love him, you end up hating him, but he ends up making you fall in love with him once again based on how he plays. That's maybe how a footballer should be. Although in his case, it should be more consistent. Guys, I'll talk to you very soon. I'll keep giving you more information. I wish I could have done more videos here from India, but it's been a hectic schedule. I'm trying to get my feet wet. I'm trying to get more accustomed, and I'm trying to adapt as quickly as possible, and I already basically have. So you'll get more of this in the days and weeks to come. So guys, talk to you soon.